Therapists tell us that most people in midlife are still working through issues they encountered before the age of 10. You know the phrase, the dreaded inner child. That inner child with unresolved issues shows up in a variety of ways in adulthood. And man, oh man, does it ever show up when you become a parent. If you felt underappreciated when you were growing up, it may manifest today as a feeling of not being valued by your partner, your boss, or maybe even your children. You're surrounded by people, but often you feel alone. Take a moment, and if it's safe to do so, feel free to close your eyes for this part. Recall if your parents allowed you to show them that you needed them. Were you able to ask for help or even a hug when you needed it? Where were your parents on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of meeting your emotional needs? And be honest, and then think about what would you have done differently if you were in their shoes. In today's video, I'll be sharing some ideas with you on what you can consider changing. And I know the guidance and ideas I'll share with you work. Not only have I broken the cycle in my own life, in the lives of my sons, but these techniques have successfully been applied in the lives of thousands of people. Frederick Douglass famously said, "It's easier to build strong children than repair broken men." Fast forward to today, and let's change that to broken adults. So here we are, broken adults. In fact, we are really broken. Did you know that we're the most medicated generation of all time? We are broken adults trying our best to guide our young. Broken adults that rarely take the time to truly look at our own issues. Nope, because we have trophies, fancy cars, big houses, and designer purses that tell us everything is okay. When those feelings come up, not to worry, because we have pills to deal with that. Cover up and soldier on, push through, win. Because if you win, no one will ever have to know how much you silently suffer. Fake it until you make it, right? How is that working out for you? Well, we all know that it's not. And it's certainly not working for our children. Unfortunately, stats tell us clear as day that our kids are suffering more than any generation before them. Today, nearly 40% of teens suffer from depression, and about as many are being labeled as having ADD. The saddest part is the death rate from suicide for kids between 10 to 14 years old doubled from 2007 to 2014, a stat from the Center of the Disease Control. And it's actually the second leading cause of death amongst 15 to 29-year-olds. A survey conducted by the American Psychology Association called The Stress in America in 2013 found that 35% of teens report that stress caused them to lie awake at night in the past month. But more shockingly, 67% of teens who reported skipping meals due to stress say it was a lack of appetite, and 25% say it was because they didn't have time to eat. No time to eat, a basic human need. I'm sure you all agree that this is unacceptable, and I'm here not only to shed light on what's going on for our kids, but also how we can shift ourselves out of this pit of despair. What if I told you we could change and create a paradigm shift in which all children could be taught how to build a strong self-image in real life, not just on Fortnite, regardless of the external conditions in their lives, irrespective of how they are parented, and therefore grow up to be strong, resilient adults capable of living up to their potential. I believe that the self-image is the greatest barometer of the quality of a person's inner life. Simply put, your self-image encompasses how you speak to yourself when you're alone with your thoughts and how you feel about yourself when you look into the mirror. A strong self-image is the key to being in control of your life. Your self-image is the interpreter that filters all the stuff that the five senses pick up. The self-image forms by default, and it has to because something has to run the show. I know from my own life experience and from coaching since 2009 that we can repair broken adults. It's possible. And you don't have to look far to find proof of this, especially in this community that's full of parents trying to do the best job possible. I grew up feeling broken on the inside, but you would never have known it because I was able to hide my pain behind accomplishments. Does that sound familiar? I never dared tell anyone that I felt useless and unwanted. Nope. Like a good little girl, I focused on presenting what would look good for my family's reputation. I'll ask you again, does this sound familiar? What about you? Did you ever feel compelled to fake it like I did? Hide what you truly felt about yourself? Did you ever try to outrun your low self-image? You know, I tried to fake it until I became it. Only I nearly lost myself in the process. I saw the same pattern in the adults I coached. And guess what? They all had one thing in common: a low self-image. Once I saw the connection, I just couldn't look away. I felt compelled to shift the focus of my work to include the source of the problem. I knew I had to contribute to the solution. We have to break the cycle, and I wanted to be a part of that solution. I thought, why break something and then try to fix it later? Why not just build strong children now? I took what I knew from coaching adults in crisis and reverse engineered these issues to create a program that helps me contribute to my community. Let me tell you about my client, Michael. He's 15 and he works diligently to meet his father's expectations of external success. Michael never showed signs of emotional fragility when his dad was around, but Michael started to show signs of cracking under the pressure, so his mom reached out to me. With self-image coaching, Michael began to see himself differently. Michael developed courage, but not to challenge his father, but rather to learn how to communicate his emotions with his dad. For example, one day his dad started to lay into Michael, but this time Michael had the right tools through the coaching to shift the situation. He said, "Dad, when you speak to me like that, it makes me feel like I'm letting you down. It makes me feel worthless." There was silence, according to Michael, for a while, and he admits he was terrified. But what happened next felt like a miracle to him. That moment was a breakthrough for both father and son. Michael's dad was shattered when he realized what his words were doing to his son. And he was able to see and feel what truly mattered. Michael, nothing else. Though this sounds like an easy shift, it took immense courage for Michael to speak up. You see, their relationship was instantly made stronger by changing the way they communicated. We, as a village, have the ability to equip our kids for real life by helping them be the architects of their own self-image. Parents, teachers, coaches, mentors, they can all be trained on how to build strong children. And we can create massive change together. We can not only heal together, but we can begin to thrive together. A strong self-image guarantees that the child will have a sufficient feeling of stability to step into the unknown and forge ahead, because life will throw them curveballs. That's just how the cookie crumbles in real life. Maybe not so much on the highlights reel of social media. In my work, I focus on equipping children with the tools they need to face life's challenges. My goal is to help them understand that life is a long game. A strong child is emotionally flexible and doesn't snap under pressure. When I teach children about a concept as abstract as the self-image, I use references that make sense to them. I say your self-image is like a trampoline. When someone jumps on you, you have to simply bounce them back and think to yourself, that belongs to you, not to me. This metaphor conveys the understanding that humans project their own issues out into the world and onto others. And just like the trampoline, there's a little dip. So sometimes you might feel down, but you need to learn how to be elastic and bounce right back into your regular state. You see, this simple shift in perspective and training, such as this, pushes us into a creative space where we see intellectual, spiritual, and emotional growth like never before. There's a powerful African proverb that says, the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Let's work together to prevent these fires. Like the phoenix, we can rise from the ashes of our own broken childhoods to create a new future for our children. The shift is simple. Let me show you. Put your hands together and interlace your fingers like this. Now squeeze. Keep squeezing. How do your fingers feel? Do your hands feel uncomfortable? Is there enough blood flow to your fingers? This is how a child's psyche feels when it's being marinated in the fears and regrets that reside deep within the adults that are mentoring them. Now, loosen your hold a little. Be gentler, less afraid. Loosen a little bit more. Can you feel the difference? One is suffocating and the other supportive. If you loosen your grip and just hold a child's hand, a massive shift will take place. You will pass on your love, not your fear, to your child. It's a seemingly small shift, but it produces monumental change. You can do this. You have watched this far. To get immediate access to my toolkit to help you break the cycle and raise resilient children, and maybe even heal yourself in the process, click on the link in the description below. And always, always remember, you can reach out. I always offer a 30-minute free consult, and I'm looking forward to meeting you and joining you on this journey of healing and building resilient children. Thanks for watching. You can expect videos every Friday with me, Ranbir Puar, all about parenting kids and family, developing growth, connection, communication, and resilience under your roof. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified. You can also follow me on social media for more content and for us to stay connected. All the links are available in my profile. You can also find other resources for parents and kids if you head to my online school. The link is available in the description, or just go to innerchampion.me.